Deep within the dark corners of the internet, a sinister website existed known only as the Killing Game. This website was accessible only by invitation and was reserved for those who shared a twisted obsession with murder. It was a gathering place for serial killers around the world to share tips, techniques, and even trade victims. The website was carefully guarded by its administrators, who monitored every post and comment. Members were expected to follow a strict set of rules, including never revealing their true identities and never discussing anything outside of the website. For those who dared to break the rules, there were dire consequences. The members of the Killing Game were a diverse group, ranging from young amateurs to seasoned veterans. They came from all walks of life and all corners of the world. Some were doctors, lawyers, or even law enforcement officials, while others were vagabonds, living on the fringes of society. They were united only by their obsession with murder. One day, a new member joined the website. He called himself the Collector, and his posts quickly caught the attention of the other members. He described his techniques in detail, sharing the intricacies of how he captured and killed his victims. The other members were impressed by his knowledge and expertise, and soon he became one of the most respected members of the community. However, there was something different about the Collector. Unlike the other members, he did not keep his identity hidden. He reveled in the attention and adulation he received from his fellow killers, and he began to share more and more personal information about himself. The other members didn't seem to notice, but some began to suspect that there was something off about him. As time passed, the Collector began to use the website to recruit new members into his twisted game. He promised them the chance to participate in the ultimate killing spree, one that would make them legends in the world of serial killers. And slowly but surely, the members of the Killing Game began to fall under his spell. One by one, members of the website started to disappear. The authorities were baffled by the sudden spike in serial killings, and they had no leads to follow. Meanwhile, the Collector continued to operate with impunity, recruiting new members and expanding his twisted empire. Finally, one of the website's administrators, who had become increasingly disturbed by what he had seen on the website, decided to take matters into his own hands. He contacted the authorities and led them to the Collector's lair. When they arrived, they found a house filled with grisly trophies and evidence of countless murders. But the Collector was nowhere to be found. He had slipped away into the night, leaving behind only a trail of death and destruction. The authorities knew that he was still out there somewhere, lurking in the shadows, waiting for his next victim. And so, the hunt for the Collector continued, as the world realized that the horror of serial killers was no longer confined to the real world, but had spread to the darkest corners of the internet. The members of the Killing Game were scattered to the winds, but the fear and terror they had created remained, a constant reminder of the evil that lurked in the hearts of men. The authorities continued their search for the Collector for months, but he remained elusive, leaving no trace of his whereabouts. The members of the Killing Game who had survived were brought to justice, and their confessions helped to close dozens of cold cases. But the Collector remained a mystery, a specter haunting the nightmares of those who knew of him. Finally, one day, a woman came forward with information about the Collector's whereabouts. She claimed to have been his girlfriend, and she knew where he was hiding. The authorities quickly acted on the information and raided the house where the Collector was hiding. But what they found was not what they had expected. The collector was dead, having committed suicide weeks earlier. The house was filled with evidence of his twisted obsessions, but there were no clues as to why he had taken his own life. The members of the killing game were left to wonder what had driven him to such extremes, and what had caused him to end his own life. In the end, the legacy of the collector lived on, not as a hero or a legend, but as a warning of the dangers of obsession and the dark corners of the human psyche. The members of the killing game were caught, tried, and punished for their crimes, but the world knew that there would always be others like them, lurking in the shadows, waiting for their chance to strike. As for the authorities, they knew that they had won a victory, but at a great cost. The investigation had taken a toll on everyone involved, and the horror of what they had seen would stay with them for the rest of their lives. But they also knew that they had done their duty, and that they had brought justice to the victims of the collector and his twisted game.